Hello, I'm Alex. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on the secret weapon behind some of the fastest apps you use every single day. We're talking about Redis.
Okay, every single developer out there knows this feeling, right? It's that pit in your stomach when the app starts crawling, the user complaints start rolling in, and you can practically hear the database groaning under the pressure.
It's a classic dev dilemma. Your first instinct might be throw more hardware at it, maybe get a bigger database. But what if the answer isn't about being bigger? What if it's about being smarter and a whole lot faster?
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to break down exactly what Redis is, uncover the secret sauce that makes it so ridiculously fast, peek under the hood at its architecture, and then get super practical with a field guide on when you should and shouldn't use it. And of course, we'll wrap up with the big takeaway.
So let's get right to it. What is this thing? I mean, when you hear that giants like Twitter and GitHub are leaning on a tool to stay fast, you've got to wonder what it's all about.
Okay, the name stands for Remote Dictionary Server, but what it is an open source, in-memory, key-value data store. Now, that's a mouthful, so let's use an analogy. Imagine your traditional database is this enormous, sprawling library. To find something, you have to find the right aisle, the right shelf. It takes time. Redis is like a sticky note slapped right on your monitor with the exact piece of info you need right now. It's immediate.
And it's got a pretty cool origin story, actually. It was created back in 2009 by Salvatore Sanfilippo. He wasn't trying to build the next big database company. He was just a frustrated developer whose startup was hitting a wall with database performance. So he basically said, you know what, I'll build a better way myself. And so Redis was born.
Okay, this brings us to the big question. How is it so ridiculously fast? I mean, its performance is legendary. It's not magic, but it's pretty darn clever. Let's peel back the layers.
So the secret sauce really comes down to a few key things. First, and this is the big one, all data lives in RAM, not on a slow spinning disk. RAM is just orders of magnitude faster. Second, it uses a single-threaded model. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, isn't multi-threaded better? Not always. By being single-threaded, Redis avoids all the complicated overhead of managing thread locks, which makes operations super efficient. Then you add in highly optimized data structures and something called pipelining, which lets you send a whole batch of commands at once. It's just built for speed from the ground up.
And what's the result of all that clever engineering? Well, look at this number. We're talking about the potential to handle 1.5 million requests per second on good hardware. That's insane. And we're talking sub-millisecond latency. This isn't just fast, it's practically instantaneous.
Okay, so it's blazingly fast. But you might be wondering, is it reliable? Can it scale? And the answer is yes. Speed is just one piece of the puzzle. Let's take a look under the hood at the architecture. So for scalability and making sure it's always available, Redis uses what's called a master-slave replication setup. It's pretty straightforward. You have one main master node that handles all the data writes. Then that master automatically copies or replicates all that data to one or more slave nodes. These slaves can then handle all the read requests, spreading out the workload like a champ.
Now, a big question with in-memory databases is, what happens if the power goes out? Do I lose everything? Well, with Redis, no, not necessarily. It actually gives you a couple of options for persistence. You can use RDB snapshots, which is basically like taking a photograph of your entire dataset. Great for backups. Or you can use the AOF log. Think of it like a ship's log. It writes down every single command that changes the data. Pretty clever, right?
And when you get right down to it, the basic interaction with Redis is dead simple. It's a key value store. You can see it right here. You set a key, you get a value. Easy. But don't let that simplicity fool you. This simple foundation is where the real power begins.
See, this is what separates Redis from a lot of other key value stores. It's not just about strings. It has these rich, powerful data structures built right in. You need a queue? Use a list. Need to store a user object? Use a hash. And my personal favorite, sorted sets. They're perfect for building things like real-time gaming leaderboards because each item has a score, and Redis keeps it all sorted for you automatically. It's a total game changer. Okay, so we've seen that it's fast, it's scalable, and it's powerful. But the million-dollar question for any developer is, when do I actually pull this tool out of my toolbox? Let's get practical. Think of it this way. Redis is a scalpel, not a Swiss Army knife. It's absolutely brilliant for things like caching, managing user sessions, or powering those real-time leaderboards. But, and this is important, you probably don't want to replace your main SQL database with it.
If you need complex joins, if your dataset is massive, bigger than your RAM, or you need super strict data guarantees, then yeah, your good old relational database is still the way to go.
So what about the competition? The other big name you'll hear is Memcached. And look, Memcached is great at one thing, caching simple strings. But as you can see, Redis is just so much more flexible. With its support for hashes, lists, and sets, it's less of a one-trick pony and more of a multi-tool. And if you choose Redis, you are absolutely in good company. We're talking about the heavy hitters here. Twitter, GitHub, Stack Overflow. These are sites that live and die by their performance, and they all trust Redis to help keep things snappy.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground, so let's boil it all down. If you're going to walk away with just one single idea about Redis, what should it be?
It's this. Redis is fundamentally about making a strategic trade-off. You're consciously trading some of the rigid structure and the absolute ironclad durability of a traditional database for mind-blowing, game-changing speed. And really, that leaves us with a bigger question about how we build software today. In a world where users expect everything to be instant, every developer has to ask themselves this. What's more important for this feature, for this app? Is it the speed of right now, or is it the perfect structured data of forever? The answer isn't always simple, and that's what makes tools like Redis so incredibly interesting.